Harihi Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Namaskaram's Master. Namaskaram's Master KPK. Namaskaram's Master EK. Namaskaram's Master MN. Namaskaram's Master CVV. Namaskaram's Master CVV. Namaskaram's Master CVV to your lotus feet. ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवमुपास्महे हयग्रीव 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 इति यो वदेत् तस्य निस्सरते वाणी जह्नुकन्या प्रवाहवत्. Namaskaram to the lotus feet of the masters and the gurus of the homeopathy. We have been discussing about the very important subject called the simple substance. This is the core of philosophy of homeopathy. Any doctor without the knowledge of this will be a failure. Why? Because if you don't understand the philosophy of homeopathy properly, knowing materia medica is very difficult, and also practicing the materia medica is equally difficult. Because the one in all is to be recognized or identified. That one which was told by Adi Shankara as the Brahman, which is invisible, neither can be seen nor can be shown, is to be understood well to understand a case of homeopathy. You will be surprised to know that how the basic Indian philosophy, Hindu philosophy, or Vedic philosophy, we call it as, has direct relevance with the homeopathy, and how Dr. Samuel Hahnemann could understand the culture and the philosophy of our country, and he matched with the homeopathy, because in homeopathy also the medicine can neither be seen nor can be shown, and how it works is still a miracle. And even today the allopathy doctors claim this as a placebo system where it works on faith. No, sorry. Homeopathy is not working on faith. Homeopathy is a science. The best example I can give is I had one patient who got retired from bank, and he started spending entire money for drinking, alcoholism. So his wife, she came to me once and she asked me, "Sir, my husband is spending entire amount every day evening. At 6 o'clock he goes to the bar, and there are some 4 5 friends are there. He's spending entire money. And if we say something, he will beat us. So aggressive person. So please, in homeopathy there are medicines, I am told. Please help me." One daughter got married, two daughters were there. So second one is to be married, but money is getting spent for drinking purpose. Then I gave Naksvamika in one potency and asked her to give it along with the water without the knowledge of the patient. Because once he knows, he will not take. So she gave one day Naksvamika 1 and next day morning she observed there is some change in his behavior, and evening 6 o'clock he did not go out. Then she could ask him, dare to ask him, "Today, every day you are going at 6 o'clock out, today you are not gone." Then he said, "I don't feel like going." Every day he felt like going, After giving Naksvamika, he said, I don't feel like going. That is homeopathy. Now you tell me, if it is only a placebo, when the medicine is given without the knowledge of the patient, how did it work? Another best example is we are giving medicines to animals. We are giving medicines to infants. Do they know that they take homeopathy? If it is simple faith system, he will have faith. But a boy of 10 days old or 1 month old, we are giving medicine and wonderful results they are getting. And we are giving medicines to cows, cats, dogs. They are working. Do they have faith on the system? I am really surprised for this claim by a doctor stating that homeopathy is a placebo, homeopathy is a faith system. Sorry. If that doctor has any doubt, let him take homeopathy. My sincere appeal to those who are listening or watching this YouTube, if you have any doubt, please get clarified for yourself. You take the medicine. You may have a small minor ailments like cold, cough, fever, etc. or diarrhea. These are all very common ailments. You take homeopathy and know it for yourself instead of blaming a system as a whole. This is another disadvantage with the inter-rivalry of allopathy and homeopathy and Ayurveda. The doctor of homeopathy does not wish to send the patient to allopathy if required. We have to send because all the systems are created by God and all have equally important place in its place. Homeopathy is best in its place. Allopathy is best in its place. Unfortunately, we take allopathy where homeopathy is required, or we take homeopathy where allopathy is required, and this mismatching that will make the patient's position much worse, and they will come to a conclusion that homeopathy will not work, or homeopathy is slow, or homeopathy has aggravation. So many inhibitions are there. When all the organs are damaged and you have tried all the systems, and at the fag end of the life, before going to deathbed, then you take whether homeopathy works. Impossible. We can give some palliation, but cure is not possible. Why? Because already by the time the patient's condition has reached a state called incurability. That is what Dr. Hahnemann says, incurable cases. Now coming back to the simple substance, last week I told the aphorism number 9. In the healthy condition of the man, the spiritual vital force, the dynamis, that animates the material body rules with unbounded sway and retains all parts of the organism in admirable, harmonious, vital operation as regards both sensations and functions, so that our indwelling reason gifted mind can freely employ this living healthy instrument for the higher purposes of our existence. This is the heart of homeophilosophy. If you understand this aphorism number 9 in total, including the inner meanings, it is hidden between the words. If you can understand, you will be a very successful practitioner. This is what our Master Ike taught us. And we follow this philosophy. Many students in BHMS colleges, they feel that homeopathy is not that important. To get the minimum marks of 50, to get through the subject, they by heart some aphorisms and somehow they get through the examination. Once they start practice after finishing the graduation, they are failures. That is the reason they go for allopathic practice. And without knowing homeopathy, practicing homeopathy is very difficult. And last year of the internship or the house surgeons they do in allopathic hospitals, there are no homeopathy in bed hospitals. How do they learn homeopathy? This is again one of the lacunae in the hospitals, and government is not giving priority to homeopathy, prior importance to homeopathy. That is again leading the BHMS people after finishing the course, they tend to practice allopathy because last year of the course they practiced allopathy and up to 5 years they have just got through the examination. By the end of 6 years or 5.5 years, if you ask the student of a BHMS, what do you know about homeopathy? I am sorry. Many people, I don't say that 100%, those who have studied with interest or as a passion, the homeopathy when they have taken up, they will understand. But it is not the case with all. Why? Because in fact they were trying to join MBBS course, but they could not get the sufficient rank. Many people have joined homeopathy and Ayurveda. But I know some people, though they got good rank, they did not join allopathy MBBS and they preferred homeopathy because their parents were practicing or their some relatives are practicing and they know the efficacy of homeopathy from the childhood. So why this is very important? Because number one, the first sentence says in the healthy condition of the man. So one should have health. And what is the difference between health and sickness? Here he says, if the health is there, the spiritual vital force, that is we call it as Atma Bala, Prana Shakti, Prana Bala, that we call it as. That spiritual vital force acts properly and it animates the material body. As long as that spiritual vital force is in the person, in the body moves. Once the spiritual vital force leaves the body, then the body becomes dead. So what is the difference between dead person and a living person is all the organs are present. The allopathy is treating the organs, but all the organs are present. But why do we call it as a dead person? Because that one which is animating the material body, the spiritual vital force, has left the body. Then we bury it or burn it or whatever is there, we do it. So here he says, when the healthy condition, in the healthy condition of man, when health is there with the person, then it rules with unbounded sway. So happiness, there is no bound, there is no limit for happiness, there is no limit for health. He is very healthy, very happy, witty, jovial, and he is with the self, inner self. That self is the Ananda Swarupa. That is what we call as Shivananda Swarupa. That Shiva is Ananda Swarupa himself. That Chit is Ananda Swarupa. Chidananda Rupa. Shivoham. Chit Ananda Swarupa. Aham. So that if that is derailed or that is not, the spiritual vital force is not having its full strength, then he becomes a patient. When he becomes a patient, the sickness, once it comes, what it will do? It will derange the harmony. The mind says, ask the hand to lift. But if there is no harmony, hand will not be able to, the person will not be able to lift the hand. In the condition of a paralysis of a person, the hand cannot be lifted. That means the spiritual vital force, the strength is reduced. So what is the duty of the physician? Again give the strength to the person where the spiritual vital force is strengthened and it repairs the body. The physician has no business to interfere directly with the body, only we have to target at the spiritual vital force. When there is derangement of this vital force, then when the harmony is lost, here he says, rules with unbounded sway, retains all the parts of the organism in most admirable and harmonious way. So the admiration, all the organs are functioning so well. When the organs are functioning, the person is not with the organs or in the organs. You will remember your head only when you have headache. Only when you have kneecap pain, you will be in the kneecap. Once the pain is reduced, you will again go back to your own place. That we call it is in Telugu, Nijasthana. In the Puranas, you can see the Saunaka Maharshi, Suta Maharshi will be giving classes, and after the class is over, Rushulandaru Tama Nijasthanamala Kegiri. They have gone to their original place, that is in the Hrudaya Gahwara, we call it as in Sanskrit. So that place is the place where we have to live till we leave the body. And when there is no harmony, when the harmony is lost, we come out and stay with organ. There is ear pain, the poor fellow will be in the ear. Whoever comes, he will show the ear. You can see the small children of 2 years or 3 years while running, they fall down and there will be a small injury. Whoever comes to the house, he will show the finger. Uncle, uncle, this injury is there. The same fashion, when there is derangement of the health, the person comes out of from the inner self and he stays with the organs. And when it is restored, health is restored, he will go back again and stay with himself. That abode of the God is called the Ananda. That is the blissful state. Unfortunately, what we are doing is the blissful state, person is there inside. If there is health, he will be there inside. Unfortunately, what we are doing, we are not following the manual of instructions that are given to us how to manage this body. What to eat, what not to eat, what to drink, what not to drink, what to talk, what not to talk. Everything is written in our Puranas. We go exactly the reverse way. That is the reason health is lost. Once health is lost, this harmony is lost. Once the harmony is lost, the sickness will come and slowly deteriorates. A day will come where the person inside the house or inside the body will not be able to live anymore in that. Total house is dilapidated. Hence he has to vacate the house and go in search of a new house. This is what we call as the rebirth or the death. In fact, in Bhagavad Gita, it is very clearly told that Jatasya hi dhruva mrichuh dhruvan janma mrutasya cha tasmad aparihararthe na tvam sochitum arhasi. Everybody who takes birth has to leave the body, and everybody who dies has to take the body again. So this house, before becoming totally out of condition or dilapidation, let us give homeopathy and repair the house. In fact, we will not repair the house, we will only add strength to the vital strength that is there. Why God has given this? Because what he says is the reason gifted mind. There is a reason gifted mind given to the human, and that reason gifted mind has to freely employ this living healthy instrument. Suppose person is not having health, he cannot do anything. How can you do some social work when there is no health for yourself? When the person is sick, he will not be able to deliver anything or give anything. So, first one has to maintain the health for the self. This aphorism will make us understand how to maintain the health and make us understand the efficacy of the inner vital strength. Why God has given to us. And this inner vital strength is maintained by the Almighty through two ways. One is the breathing and the other is the heartbeat. These two are perpetually going on even without the knowledge and awareness of the person. When a person is in deep sleep, still the heartbeat is going on and the respiration is going on. Once it is stopped, the person is dead. Who is managing these two? A person is in deep sleep, still his heartbeat is going on. Who is beating the trumpet? The respiration is going on. Who is doing respiration? Who taught the first respiration to the just born child? Who asked him to take the breath and then leave it? Suppose we should not do respiration unless you know that you are inhaling oxygen and exhaling carbon dioxide. Unless you have the chemistry, knowledge of the chemistry, you should not do inhalation or exhalation. All would have died by this time. The entire universe must have gone to totally gone. Without the knowledge of the oxygen, the person takes only oxygen. Without the knowledge of chemistry, though a person has not studied any chemistry, but he takes only oxygen, leaves only carbon dioxide. This is something beyond our comprehension that is doing these things. That force, which we call it as a Prana Shakti, that force here Hahnemann calls it as simple substance. He says all the planets are being revolved in their own places, orbits. They are not coming out of the orbit. Who is managing them? Who is managing the entire universe? It is, he says, there is some simple substance is there. That simple substance is managing the show. Now we will ask one question. If that is there, is it visible? No, it is not visible. When it is not visible, how can you feel that it is there? Because I am living. I am able to do respiration. I am able to talk. What proof you require? The persons who are asking about the working of the homeopathy, the simple question we can put to them is how the respiration is going on, who is managing. Here he says it is the simple substance. So this paragraph introduces the vital principle. Hahnemann, at the times he lived, could say so much in a few lines. Just it is something beyond our understanding. How was able to know these things? In the 7th section of the first edition of the Organon, Hahnemann wrote, there must exist in the medicine a healing principle. The understanding has a presentiment of it. There is a healing principle. The first edition of Organon, he wrote that. What is that principle which is managing the health? That he has mentioned that there is something is there. There is something. Otherwise, man would not have survived at all. Here, you should understand very important point here. What you understand is, you may get the idea from some of his expressions that the harmony itself is a force. If you read Hahnemann's version, the harmony itself is a force. We will understand like that. But remember, harmony is different, vital force is different. Vital force manages the harmony. It is prior to harmony. There is something before that is there. The harmony is not the vital principle. The vital principle is managing the harmony. Hahnemann could perceive this immaterial vital principle. Now comes the question, it is immaterial. Same as the God principle. Whether God is materialistic. Can you find God in a statue or in a tree or in a river or something tree? Nothing. No. It is not material. It is immaterial. So this immaterial vital principle, it was something he arrived at himself. He says it is a substance. Substance means immediately our comprehension goes to the material. But he says it is immaterial. But it is substance. That is why he calls it as simple substance. Here our ideas will stop there because it is not or it cannot be caught by our logical brain. Brain has limitation. So the brain cannot understand how the respiration is going on, why it is stopped. A person suddenly collapses because of massive heart attack. How did it happen? Why the heart stopped functioning? There is one important secret we must know. We are under illusion that because of the heart attack, the patient died. That is wrong. First the patient goes out of the body, then the heart stops functioning. This nobody can understand. Allopathic doctors cannot understand. They feel that because of the heart attack, the person died. No. First person died, then heart stops functioning. That means the heart functioning is done by that immaterial vital principle which was there in the person, which is managing all the show. So here, in the healthy condition of the man, the immaterial vital principle animates the material body. If he had used the words immaterial vital principle, it would have been even stronger, for you will see it to be true that it is a substance. Though it is immaterial, it is a substance. Don't think that all the substances are visible. No, there are substances which are not visible. So, at the present day, advanced thinkers, they call it as the fourth state of matter. We know only solid, liquid and vapor states. But there is a fourth state of matter which he calls it as immaterial substance. In fact, according to our scriptures, there are 5 states of matter. They are called 5 elements. They are called the Prithvi, Apas, Tejo, Vayu, Rakashaha. So, Agni and Akasha. Prithvi, Apaha, water, earth, then Prithvi, Apas, Tejo, that is the Tejas, that is the fire, and Akashaha, Prithvi, Apa, Tejo, Vayu, wind and Akasha. 5 states. The Akasha is called the etheric state. We know only 3 states, solid, liquid and vapor. But there are 2 more states. And that 4th state, here he calls it as the immaterial vital principle. Even the thickest, coarsest matter material can easily can be seen when comes the liquid state. It is totally liquid. You can see vapor state. The visibility has come down. And once it vapors, it goes into the air, not visible. And the 4th state is called the immaterial vital principle. That you must be able to understand. This is what Hahnemann has done a lot of research on this. He says here clearly that if man can think of energy as something substantial, he can better think of something substantial having energy. In the reverse way we understand. Whether the energy is first or substance is first. Man thinks that there is a something substantial. So the vital principle that is there, that is to be understood before we select the medicine. So why the homeopathy philosophy and our philosophy of the Adi Shankara Bhagavad-pada, why it is same, Advaita Siddhanta. There is only one, he says. That one which is not visible is the one which is managing the show. And that one, if that is gone, entire universe gone. There is no universe at all. There is no existence at all. So here it is very clearly you have to understand that there is something prior to the person. That is called the influx. That means a person is standing there, he is able to breathe in, breathe out, he is able to survive because he is getting the energy from something beyond. Like the cell phone signals are available in all the places, like that there is plenty of prana that is abundantly available in the atmosphere, and the person in that atmosphere will be able to draw that plenty of energy into the self, and as long as his self and the self of the God has a direct link, without break, the energy flows continuously into the person, and as long as that is flowing without interruption, we call the person as a living person. Once that influx is cut, once the line is cut, once the prana stops flowing into the person, then we call that person as a dead person. So there is something beyond that is to be understood. In homeopathy, this is very important because when that force which is managing this body, which is only the coarse body, but this is animated by the vital principle. So the flow of energy from an outer source into the person, we call it as the influx. As a broad and substantial illustration, we can think of a chain. There is chain. When a chain is there, there are some links are there. Otherwise, chain is cannot be called as a chain. When the pearls are on the table, you cannot call it as a chain. But when they are put into a thread and formed as a garland, it is called chain. In the chain, there is link from one to the other to the one, and suppose a chain is made like that. Okay, in gold you can see the chain is made like that. And you will not be able to know which is the first link, because every link is a first link and every link is a last link. You can cut at any place. Once you cut, you can define this is the first link and this is second, third, fourth, fifth, and 108 or 107, whatever number is there, you can tell. So here it is very clearly said that what is that holds the last link of a chain to its investment or first attachment. At once we will say that it is the immediate link that holds it. What is holding that immediate link? The immediate link previous to that, and each link holds the other. And if you cut the link at any place, that is cannot be called a chain anymore. You can't call it as a chain. So we can understand by this example that there is one continuous dependence from that link 1 to the link end. The continuous dependence is there, which is holding the other one. Each one is holding the other one. All are important. In homeopathy also, when the patient comes to give a case, which symptom is important? All the symptoms are important. Though we may tell in the class that the mind symptoms are to be given priority, we never say that ignore physical symptoms. No, you cannot, you should not, because each and every symptom of the person denotes the inner self only. It is not something about outside. So never come to a conclusion that this symptom is important, this is not important. No, whatever patient says, note down, then prioritize them, and you take the most important symptoms of the mind, select a medicine which also should suit the physical conditions, thereby the patient will be getting cure within no time. When you ignore one layer, when you ignore something, you say that, ignore this, finally you will be ignored by the patient. No patient will come to you. You are ignored. The reason is we are not able to understand that which symptom is important. All the symptoms are important. When you talk about allopathic system, they don't bother about the inner self. They are bothered only about the outer self. But whereas in homeopathy, it is inner self and also the outer self. Both are important. Only thing is priority differs. So this you must be able to understand to have a proper communication and to find out a right remedy. You have to understand each link, what is the other link, other link, other link. That is in homeopathy. We ask so many questions. We give medicine to one medicine only to the person, holistically taking all the symptoms into consideration. We never feel that this is important, that is not important. Nothing like that. This you must understand. And you have to understand another point is, see that the man exists as to his body, but as that we do not see all the finer purposes of his being. This is the ultimate philosophy one has to understand. What is the purpose of the being? Why did we take birth here? Why did we have this physical form? What is the purpose? Higher purposes, not simple purpose. Simple purpose, many people will tell, drinking, sleeping, simple purposes. For that one need not live or survive for a longer period. What is the fun? And there is no difference between animal and human. If only he feels that he has to drink, eat and sleep, it is not necessary. It is not necessary to have a human body. Any creature will have an ant or a fly also, will do the same things. So here you must understand, to believe that man exists without cause is something wrong. There is a cause for the existence of the man. We feel that there is nothing exists before the man. That is wrong. There is a cause. Cause only will show its effects. Cause is only one. One cause can show many effects. Like a gold is one cause. You can prepare one earring or one chain or one necklace or something. You can prepare anything. But all of them have only one cause hidden in them, that is called gold. So here also you should understand that there is something prior to the birth of the person. Before the person takes a shape of human being, who is making that? We never question such things to us. To ourselves, let us ask ourselves, who am I? That is what Ramana Maharshi, whoever goes to the Ramana Ashrama, he asks this point. Please question yourself, who are you? Where from have you come? And where are you going? After leaving this body, you should have a plan to go. Just to go to some other place. Today I have come to a new place from Bangalore, but how much preparation I must have done before coming here. It's a known place. And a person, he leaves the body and travels to an unknown destination. What is the preparation we are making for that journey? For a small journey, you make so much preparation. Then pack your bags and take food and everything. So and so, so and so. But when we leave the body and go somewhere which is not known to us, what is the preparation we are doing? So here, that Hahnemann goes to the fundamentals of the human being. Very questions. What is the higher purpose of your life? From his senses, man has never been able to prove that anything exists before the person. With the help of the senses, we will be never able to understand, because senses have come much, much after that. But before the senses, there was much prior to it. Because senses also have a limited scope to understand the things. We shall find a continued examination of the questions of simple substance, that we have some reason for saying the energy is not energy per se, but it is a great, powerful substance and is endowed from intelligence that is of itself a substance. God has given us the intelligence. Man is endowed with intelligence. That intelligence itself is a substance. It is so simple, it cannot be seen or shown. But that is there, you cannot deny it. You are somebody. Do you have the Vital force or not? Why? If vital force is not there, I would not have survived. It is there. Then ask him, show your vital force. There is no answer because we cannot show it. We can only have it. We can only feel it. You can only know it. You can only experience it. That which can be experienced cannot be explained. Sometimes that which can be explained cannot be experienced. One day, a 14-year-old boy, he came to my clinic. Casually we asked, do you have any bad habits? Because homeopathy, we are very strict in diet restrictions and the habits. He said, I left about 2 years back, sir. Age is 14 years. Left 2 years back. Bad habit. Then the student standing by nearby me was very curious to know, sir, what is it, Babu? What is the habit you had 2 years back you left? He said, I was chewing pan parag, some masala something. Then he asked, why did you leave it? Because my uncle died of the cancer of that particular throat cancer because of the pan parag. I saw my uncle, Babai, Chikkabba. So I left it, sir. Then I was so much surprised to see at what time he started the habit. At 12 years age, he left it. Then I asked him, what is there in the pan parag? Why do you take that? What is there? Then he immediately quipped the immediate reply stating that, sir, you please eat once, you will know it. It can only be experienced. It cannot be explained. Same is the case with the God. Same is the case with the simple substance. Same is the case with homeopathy medicine. Somebody asked whether homeo works or not. It says, you please have your own experience. That is very, very important. Here also, he says that we cannot see the vital force. It is not visible. So, let me deny it. That which cannot be shown to me is not acceptable to me. So, here, Hahnemann, just see the philosophy of the Hahnemann. What he wrote is, the materialist, to be consistent with his principles, is obliged to deny the soul, to deny a substantial God, because the energy which he dwells upon so much is nothing. He feels that how you are able to move, it is nothing. I can move. But after your death, I don't know. That's all. So he says nothing. I am moving because I am taking food. My body is maintained. I am moving. There is no God, nothing. He will say, to be consistent with his principles, a materialist may deny the soul, and he must assume that God is nothing and therefore there is none. But the one who is rational will be led to see that there is a supreme God. Just see, Hahnemann wrote this. He accepted that there is a supreme God and he is substantial. Substantial. Maybe simple substance form. May not be visible to the physical eye, but he is substantial, that he is a substance. And everything proceeds from him, and the whole series from the supreme to the most ultimate matter in this way is connected. That is what our scriptures say, Pipilikadi Brahma Paryantamo. Pipilikam means one ant. From ant to the Brahman, everybody, everything is linked to that force. And that is giving the vital energy to the body. And then only this body is getting animated. So the true holding of the material world is performed by the simple substance, how the planets are hanging in the universe. Lakhs of tons of weight, Nothing. Who is moving that? Who is exactly moving them in the same orbit without an inch this side or that side, even 0.1 inch, everything would collapse. Many times we see some asteroids are coming, this one has come. We say that something is going to hit the earth and earth is going to finish. Like that, so many predictions are there. Nothing will happen to the earth. Here, clearly you should understand one point is the material world is performed by the simple substance, and this simple substance is managing the entire universe. All the planets are kept in their respective orbits only by the simple substance. Everything that appears before the eye has a beginning. The forms are in harmonious condition. Every crystal of a metal crystallizes in accordance with order. And a neem tree will never give a mango fruit, and mango tree will never give neem fruit. Everything is going on in an order. Man's very anatomy forms harmoniously. 5 fingers like this, head like this. What is the size of the ear, size of the nose? Everything calculations are there. Then you may ask, some people will have a different nose and visor, because we have to identify the people. So if everybody has the same shape, it is very difficult. Who will go to whose house? So there must be some difference. This is the universe. This is what we call as the Krida. It is the game by the God. That is what we say that. We see nothing in the material world to account for this, but we perceive that all things are held in position because of a continuous influx from first to the last. There is a continuous influx. In a chain also we told there must be a continuous link from first to the last. Then only we call it as a chain. If there is cut something, the chain, you cannot call it as a chain. The name chain extinguishes. So, please understand that flow is continuously flowing into this little self. That self is of the universal self. That is universe. It is being maintained. There is a universal soul is there. Our soul is there. Universal soul is there. And there is link between the two. Each and every point, if you understand this principle well, very easy to practice homeopathy. There are many qualities. What is the quality of this simple substance? Many qualities are predicated, and one of the first propositions we have to consider is that it intelligently operates and forms the economy of the whole animal, vegetable and mineral kingdoms. All the kingdoms are happening only because of the intelligence. That is how they are being maintained. That intelligence is of the simple substance. That you must understand well. So the simple substance is endowed with a formative intelligence. It has a formative intelligence. That is why it is able to form the human beings. And the fetus is in the mother. Who is making it to happen? It is the simple substance. Why there are some defects, disorders, by birth, deformities? Because there is some problem with the simple substance and the harmony is lost. This you must understand. So, if man is in the highest order and is rational, he wills to keep himself in continuous order. Thus, his thoughts may continue rational. But he is so placed in freedom that he can, anytime, he can spoil his rationality. Man is the only being, I understand, only being who is given the freedom. Why the freedom is given? Somebody asked to the God, Sir, why did you give freedom to us? You should not give freedom. We don't want democracy. We want some dictator who will hit on our head when we do something. Our country does not deserve democracy. Somebody was telling other day, we don't want democracy. Very funny statement. Because other countries who are under dictatorship, they are yearning for the democracy. And we people, we say that we don't want democracy. Why? Because rationality is lost. The rational thinking, the logical thinking of the brain is lost. Then only we say some such statements we give out. No, we don't want freedom, nothing like that. In fact, in the universe, there is a principle. Every living being, every living creature, like an ant or a fly or a bedbug or anything, they want freedom. There is one small story is there. I will try to explain you that story. Everybody wants freedom. There was a businessman who was rearing a parrot in a cage in his house. The cage was taught how to speak. Then cage was speaking every day to him. One day, that businessman is going out and the parrot asks, "Where are you going, master?" Then he says, "I am going to the Purana." Somebody is telling Purana Kalakshepa. Then who is the person giving classes? Is very great sage, has come from Himalayas. He is giving classes. He is having lot of powers. That is what the businessman says. Then the parrot asks, "Please go and ask that sadhu or the Satpurusha, when will I get freedom from this cage? When will I get freedom?" The businessman could not understand the question well. He went there, he attended the class. At the end of the class, he met that master and he put the question that was put by his parrot. "Sir, my parrot was asking, when will he get freedom?" The moment the sentence is completed, that person totally he lost consciousness and fell on the ground. This fellow got panic. One simple question I asked him, this fellow died already. Then he sees there is pulse is there, temperature is there. He called somebody. Somehow this man lost the consciousness. He please do the necessary medical treatment, that and that, and he went home. And the parrot, it reminded, "Sir, what did the Swami says about my freedom?" Then this fellow with great palpitation, panic, he said, "Yo, the moment I finished the question, that man fell down, total unconscious. I think he might have died also." Oh, like that. He just nodded the head, parrot. Next day morning, again he got up. When he got up, he saw the parrot is dead. I told something, that fellow died. I told this, the parrot died. And what do I do with the parrot? Then he has thrown. Then the parrot flew because it was okay. Then he came to the next day class. This Swami was all right. Then he asked her after the class, "Sir, yesterday when I asked the question, you fell down, and I told the same thing to my parrot, and that flew away, it also fell down." Then he says, "You are attending my classes, all of you are attending my classes, but none of you are following my teachings. Your parrot followed my teaching. When it asked for freedom, I demonstrated that you act as if you are dead, then you will be given freedom." And I have been telling so many things to the audience here, nobody followed, but that poor parrot followed my instruction. Remember this, very important is, whatever things you know, you may know 100 things, but are you implementing one out of it? That is very, very important. If you have a lot of knowledge and you don't implement, there is no meaning at all. There is no use at all. So the rational, the mind, that is very important, and how you follow the instructions that are given by the God, by the seers. They have given a lot of things to us. And everything is managed by this simple substance only. We are given freedom, I told you. Every creature wants freedom. But the freedom is given to us only to see that we elevate ourselves from the mere human, to the kingdom of Devas. But unfortunately, we are going down to become, again to go back to animal state, but not the divine state. Everything is working very intelligently in us, only because of the simple substance. And homeopathy says very clearly that the disease cause in simple form is in simple form. And the disease cause is in simple form. You have to select a medicine which is similar in nature, that is, which is also in very simple form. That is the reason Hahnemann has proposed the process of potentization in homeopathy. When the disease cause is in a very subtle form, when the person's life force itself is in a subtle form, and that gets deranged, and there is disharmony, there is disorder in the body, there is diseasiness. That is, when he was at ease, and the ease was disturbed, the disease, all these things can go only when you understand that there is some simple substance which is managing the entire show. And that simple substance is in such a simple form, and when homeopathy medicines are given in potentized form, that is directly absorbed by the disease cause within us, and a person gets cured in the fastest way, because the medicine is directly given to the inner self, and the medicine is put in a simple form where it can easily absorb. If you go to some other place where your language is not spoken, you cannot communicate with them. Suppose you are able to communicate, you have learned that language, then you are able to communicate. You will have very peaceful life there. Till that time, till you learn, it is very, very difficult. That means when you tune yourself with them in the same frequency or in the wavelength, you are received well. In same way, when the disease cause is in a very, very simple form, in a very subtle form, when you can give a medicine which is in similar form and with similar symptoms, which is not dissimilar, then it directly works on the vital force, on the vital strength, directly works on the person. The self is brought back to order. That is the ultimate goal of homeopathy, which is clearly told in this simple substance. Now you understand why the homeo medicines are potentized. This we observe in agro-homeopathy. When you spray the medicine on the leaf in the most micro form, nano form, the leaf is able to absorb it easily. Otherwise, even if you put it in a crude form, it has to convert that into nano form, palatable to it, to easily absorb it, and then it works. Because it has very less state of mind, only physical. It is more with the case of a tree. So the medicines are potentized, and when it is put on the leaf, it is directly absorbed, and it is the fastest system that is available in the world because of its absorption capacity. So in the human form also, when homeopathy medicine is given to the person, whether he accepts it or not, whether he believes it or not, it is a science. It works beyond the comprehension of the person. But only thing is, he must take the medicine and follow the restrictions that are told by the physician. Then the homeopathy works well and he is put to normal state. So next week we will go for a question answer session, and I will note down there were not much questions, many questions are asked, and Dr. Satyanarayana sir is clarifying the doubts then and there in many cases. However, any questions are there, you can put again in the either in the WhatsApp or in the class, then I will be able to definitely clarify them. Thank you very much. Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam.